class, welcome to lesson 2. The first thing we're going to do is what we do every morning. We're going to give this time to Jesus by praying. So we're going to shake it out, wiggle hands, clap it together and bring it down. Dear Jesus, I just want to bless these children as they're sit in their homes and they're watching these videos. We thank you for them wanting to learn, even from their own homes, even though they're not at school. We just bless them that they're still wanting to learn about you and learn about the alphabet and their numbers. We thank you for that. Lord, there's so many things to thank you for. Let us be grateful this time. There's so many scary things, but we know that you are taking care of everything for us. You're preparing a way for us and that we don't need to fear. And we just need to look around and be grateful. So help us to remember that during these times. I pray for everyone that has bobos, that's sick or hurting. We just pray that you heal them and that they stay focused on you. We continue to lift up Miss Joni. And again, just bless these kiddos. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we're going to get right into our Bible verse. This is our Bible verse that we're learning this week, John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And we know that Jesus is right here in the middle on this cross. And we're going to talk about this Bible story next week, about how he died on the cross for us. This week, our Bible lesson is all the events in the Bible. We know that everything in the Bible is a true story. This week, we're going to learn about the events leading up to when Jesus dies on the cross. But here we have this Roman soldier that's watching Jesus die on the cross, and he knew that he was God's son and he was special. He said, surely this is the Son of God. And we do know that Jesus is the Son of God. God sent his son to die for us because we do wrong things. But if we believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for us, we can go to heaven one day. And that's what our verse is talking about. It says, I am the way. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So we're going to go over that. We're going to do our motions. Let's see. We're going to say it normal the first time. The second time, we're going to try to do it standing on one leg. I did do it successfully last week, so we're going to see if I can do that again. And then we'll say it super duper fast. Okay, so let's say it normal the first time. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Good job. Okay, now let's get ready to stand on one leg. Are you ready? John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay, now take a deep breath. We're going to say it super duper fast. Are you ready? Okay. John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Oh, Miss Jim messed up. We're going to say it one more time. You ready? John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Good job. That was really fast. We did it. Y'all did a great job. Okay, so now we're going to go into our Bible lesson. We learned that in our last Bible lesson, Jesus entered Jerusalem on a donkey for the Passover feast, and all the people had these palm leaves, and they said, Hosanna, Hosanna. And they loved Jesus, and they worshiped Jesus. They laid these branches down before the donkey, and they also laid their coats down. And the donkey and Jesus paraded into Jerusalem, and everybody was loving Jesus and was so excited to see him. So our lesson today picks up right here. Here's Jesus standing right here, and his 12 best friends. They're at the Passover in Jerusalem, and they decide to have a Passover feast. So someone loaned them their upstairs apartment, and so Jesus and his 12 best friends or helpers, what were they called? Disciples. That's right. Jesus and his 12 disciples go up to this room to have the Last Supper. Jesus knew that he was about to die on the cross. He knew that the end of his life on earth was coming. But the disciples really didn't understand that. But Jesus knew, because he's God and he knew everything. And he knew this would be the last meal that he'd have with his 12 disciples. They had been through a lot together. They had been traveling for a long time, and they got really, really close. And Jesus knew they were going to be really sad, and they wouldn't understand when he died on the cross. But he knew that that's what God had sent him to do. So they went up to this room, and they had the Last Supper. And so Jesus took some wine in a cup similar to this. If you can see right here, he's got a cup in his hand. And he gave God thanks for the wine. And he passed it. They passed it around. They all got to drink some wine. And Jesus blessed it. And then bread, and he broke the bread, and he blessed it, and he gave it to each of them, to each of the disciples. And so maybe at church you might see people doing just that. It's called, this was the Last Supper. So sometimes at church you might see people getting the preacher blessing the wine and blessing the bread, and us remembering. That's a symbol of us remembering that Jesus did that with his disciples at the Last Supper. But something very important happened at this Last Supper. They didn't just drink wine and eat the bread. Jesus said after Jesus thanked God for the bread and the wine, he said, now I'm going to take this piece of bread and I'm going to give it to one of you disciples, one of my 12 best friends, that's going to betray me. Betray means to give someone up, to do something unkind. This one person, one of these disciples, had plotted something evil in their hearts. There was some bad, wicked men that were jealous of Jesus and wanted to kill Jesus. And they didn't know where he was. So one of these disciples had decided that he would go to those bad men, and he told those bad men, he said, you want to kill Jesus? I know where he is because I'm one of his disciples. And I will bring him to you, and I will show you where he is, and you can capture him and kill him. How horrible. These were Jesus' best friends, but one of them had an evil in their heart. He wanted to make some money. He told those bad guys that he would show them where Jesus was, and they could capture Jesus and put him in jail and kill him if they gave him some money. And so the men did that. They gave him some money, and he was going to betray Jesus. But guess what? It wasn't a secret to Jesus, because Jesus knows everything. He knew that one of these disciples had evil in their heart and were plotting against him with the bad guys just so he could make some money. And so Jesus said, I'm going to take this piece of bread and I'm going to give this to someone that's going to betray me. That means do something bad and ugly, not be a really good friend to me. He already knew who that disciple was. And he said, whoever I give this bread to you, when I give this bread to you, I know that you're the bad disciple, and I want you to get up and run out of the room and do what you came to do. Because Jesus knew that was kind of God's plan. Even though this guy had evil in his heart and he wasn't loving Jesus the way he was supposed to, Jesus knew that was part of the plan for him to be captured, because he had to die on that cross. And so all the disciples were looking around and saying, oh my goodness, who is one of the disciples? Who is the bad, mean disciple that is going to do something mean to Jesus? I would never. Peter said, is it me, Lord? I hope it's not me. All the disciples started talking. They didn't know who the bad disciple was. But Jesus knew. And he went and he laid this piece of bread on the table of Judas. Do y'all see this guy right here? This was the bad disciple. His name was Judas. Can y'all say that with me? Judas. And Judas got that piece of bread, and all the disciples looked at Judas like, oh, Judas, what did you do? Why are you being so mean to Jesus? Why did you get with the bad guys and plot against Jesus that we're supposed to love? He's supposed to be our best friend. And Judas took that piece of bread, and he got up and he ran out of the room to go find the bad guys and tell the bad guys where Jesus was. Isn't that so sad, boys and girls? I hope you're not like Judas. I hope you're like the rest of the disciples that want to obey and love Jesus, and not be like Judas, who turns away and doesn't listen to Jesus. So then Jesus takes all of his disciples. He said, okay, now that Judas is gone, so now he only has 11 friends with him, because there was 12, and Judas ran out of the room. He said, we're going to go up to the Garden of Gethsemane, and we're going to pray, because there's some bad things that are about to happen to me, and I need God to be with me, and I need to know that he's with me, and so we're going to go pray. So Jesus went up to the Garden of Gethsemane, and he started praying. You'll see Jesus praying right here. He prayed for so long. It's so important. Prayer is how we talk to God. And Jesus knew that. He talked to God about all the bad things. He was getting ready to prepare himself for the bad things that he knew were about to come and about to happen. And he knew that God had sent him to do these bad things. But he needed God's help to get through them, and he knew that. So he's praying to God. And he prayed for so long, all the disciples fell asleep. At first they were praying with him. Next thing, Jesus looks down, and they're all asleep. But God continued to pray for a long time, because he knew his enemies were coming to capture him, and he wanted to be ready. And so that's where our story is going to end today. And tomorrow we're going to pick up our Bible story when the enemies arrived at the Garden of Gethsemane to capture Jesus. Now, who had gone to get the enemies and tell them where Jesus was? That was the bad disciple Judas. So Judas and the bad guys are about to arrive at the Garden of Gethsemane to capture Jesus. Remember, we're reviewing this week the letter S, and then tomorrow we're going to review the letter T for Timmy Tiger. But yesterday's lesson, we learned a little bit about sea breeze seal and how God made him special, and all the things that he made, how he gave him a layer of blubber, and how he put him rings on his skin, and all the ways that God made sea breeze seal special. Today we're going to learn about something else that God made, which is the sea. The sea, S says as in sea. And the sea is just a part of the ocean. It's a smaller part of the ocean that's surrounded by a little bit more land. And so we're going to learn about things that you need if you're going to the seaside or the seashore, things that you might bring to go swimming over there. So we're going to learn about that in just a minute, but we're going to sing the Sea Breeze Seal song 3 times before we do that lesson. You ready? Sea breeze seal, sea breeze seal, S says sun and saw and spider, snake and stop sign, S says 2 more times. Sea breeze seal, sea breeze seal, S says sun and saw and spider, snake and stop sign, S says. One more time, really loud, guys. I want to hear you. Sea breeze seal, sea breeze seal, S says. Sun and saw and spider, snake and stop sign, S says. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about this sheet right here. Here's our letter S's again. Remember, we are reviewing. And so we're going to practice writing our S's. Before I start talking to you about this picture right here, which is a picture of the seashore, here's the sea right here, or the ocean. The sea and the ocean is kind of like the same thing. Again, the sea is just a smaller area of the ocean that's surrounded by a little bit more land. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But first, let's get out our choo-choo trains or our colors. You can use whatever color you want. And we're going to do an alligator clamp just like this. Here's our S's. Here's our big S and our little S. And we're going to start at the top. And we're going to go really slow. Here's our big mama seal. She goes up to the top for some air. And she comes down. She dives down into the bottom of the icy ocean. That's our big S. And now let's move on to the little S. And here's the little baby sea breeze seal. He goes up to the top to get a little breath of air, and then he dives down to the ocean, the icy ocean, to catch something to eat. So that's our big S and our little S. Go really slow. We call this our choo-choo train because we keep it on our tracks. So go really slow and go bring your choo-choo train all the way down and keep it on the track. So let's talk about this picture right here that you have at home. Right here, what is this? Right here in the middle of the picture. That's right. This is a sandcastle because on the seashore there's always lots of sand. And have you ever gone to the seashore of the ocean and made a sandcastle? It is lots of fun. And look right here. Do you bring these to the seashore? This little doesn't show the little boy or the little girl that went to the seashore, but they must have brought their bucket and a shovel. You should always bring like a little pail and a shovel to the seashore because it's so much fun to use those to make sandcastles. Also, S says as in sandcastle. So I don't know if you boys and girls have your bathing suits on. If you don't have your bathing suit on, you can pause the video right now and go put it on, only if you want to. Miss Jim has on, this is something I would wear. Now, I don't have a bathing suit on under here. I have shorts on. But this is something that I would wear over my bathing suit if I was going to the seashore to go swimming and to make sandcastles, I would wear my bathing suit and a cover-up. So if you want to go put your bathing suit on, you can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that, so you can just pause the video and come back. Okay, I hope you have your bathing suits on. If not, that's okay. But we're going to learn about things that we take to the seashore. So what is something that you would need to bring to the seashore? How about one of these? What is this? This is a beach towel. And so when you go to the seashore, you go swimming and then you get really wet. And so you need this to dry off. Or maybe you want to just lay down on the sand and keep yourself warm in the sun. So you need one of these. This is something that you would bring to the seashore. Okay, let's see, what else? What about sunglasses? Do you boys and girls have sunglasses? You might need this to protect your eyes from the sun. It's really bright at the seashore. And this is Mr. Jeremy's hat. He wears this when we go to the beach because it protects his face from the sun. The sun is really, really hot. Also, I know that your mom always brings anytime you go swimming. It's very important that you put some of this on. This is sunblock. It also starts with the letter S. S says as in sunblock. And so you spray this on and it protects your skin from getting a sunburn. The sun is really hot, especially when you're swimming in your bathing suit. Your bathing suit doesn't protect your arms and your legs as much as regular clothes. So you always need to wear this to keep your body safe from getting a sunburn. Sunburns are really painful. Also, if you've ever gone to the seashore, maybe you found one of these. This is a seashell. It's really huge. I went to the seashore in Cancun, or it's a beach by the ocean, and I found this seashell. It's really big. It's something fun to do when you go to the sea. You can go look for seashells. It's one of my favorite things to do. Also, another thing you may want to take when you go to the seashore is a floaty like this. Now, you should always, boys and girls, if you don't know how to swim, you should always wear like little floaty devices or something on your arms to keep you above the water. And you should never ever go swimming without a grown-up there watching you. But this is something else you could bring to the seashore to float on, to float in the waves. It'd be lots of fun. And a beach ball. I wish I had a beach ball and a beach pail, but I don't have those things. What are some things that you should not bring to the seashore? How about a television set? Would you bring a TV to the seashore? No, the sand would be dangerous. It would get in there and make it not work. Or a computer like this. You should never bring a computer, an iPad, or any electronic device to the seashore. What about a heavy coat? Would you bring a heavy jacket to the seashore? No, because it's so hot. We talked about how bright and hot the sun is. And if you were wearing a coat, you would be sweating. You would be way too hot. So those are just a couple of things. See if you can think of something else that you would not take to the seashore. That's right. Good job. All right. So that is I want you to complete this sheet right here for today's work for lesson 2. And also, let me take this off. Since we only have one sheet to do today, I went ahead and decided to make a turtle craft if you want to. Now, you don't have to do this. If your mom has any type of green paint like this, she can put it in a paper plate, and you'll need one of these. This is a potato masher that you use in the kitchen. I've already taken a green marker and made a mommy and daddy turtle right here. Now this is extra. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But you're going to take this potato masher and this is going to make the turtle shell. So I'm going to show you how to do it. And I've also included, you can do like this, smash it down, and it kind of makes, let me do it again. It makes the back of the turtle shell. Now let's do the daddy. Oh, the daddy turned out really good. The mommy turtle didn't do as well. But you're going to take the masher and put it down on the construction paper or cardstock or whatever mom and dad has around. And you can either use construction paper to cut out the head and the feet, the arms, and the tail of the turtle, or you can just do like Miss Jen did. I just used a green marker. And that potato masher makes the turtle shell. So that kind of goes along with T, T says t, 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 as in turtle. So guys, if you do this activity, make sure when we go do our meetings next week, our Zoom meetings, bring this and show the class your turtles that you did, okay? All right, I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 3.